Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's April 17th, 2017. One of the news headlines this evening in the United States is that a Blackhawk helicopter crashed in a Maryland golf course while performing a routine drill. And what I'm going to show you will probably sound crazy to you if you're new here, but I assure you I'm not crazy. Instead, what I am exposing is how news is truly manufactured on the daily by the numbers. And this news story is in fact a huge tribute to Donald Trump on his 88th day of being the President of the United States of America. Since Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2017 to today is his 88th day. And in case you're new here, I've been exposing how important the number is to Donald Trump in rituals since long before he was the president. I have videos going back to 2015, since when he began his campaign for president, showing how often 88 comes up around Donald Trump. You might remember the recent headlines from September 6th, 2016, 88 generals endorsed Trump for president. Notice Trump in English ordinal, which is the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Trump is 88. Maryland is also 88 in this same form. Maryland 88. And let me check this article to get the name of this golf course real quick. Breton Bay Golf Course. Here, we'll just copy and paste it. Control C, Control V. Notice Breton Bay Golf Course in reduction, which is also using the alphabetic order, but using the laws of numerology. So just real quick, you can see B is 2. B is the second letter. That makes sense. R is the 18th letter in the alphabetic order. But, whoops, I changed format. R is only worth 9 because 18 in numerology is 1 plus 8 equals 9. So in this format, you make each letter a single digit, then you add. Breton Bay Golf Course, 88, just like Trump, just like Maryland, just like this is his 88th day of office. And if you follow my channel, some of these other numbers are probably really popping out at you. We'll get to that. So, also interesting, today's date numerology, April 17th, 2017. Today's date has 58 numerology. Remember, Donald Trump won the 58th U.S. presidential election. He was there for the 58th presidential inauguration, January 20th. That same day, they hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray to do the ceremonies, replacing the man who had done it since the 34th president, Truman. So the 58 numerology, significant. The words Freemasonry, Secret Society, Annuit Coeptus, Rosicrucian, Rose Cross, United States, and many other things very relevant to Freemasonry have gematria of 58. Solomon's Temple equals 58. Freemasonry based in the history of Solomon's Temple. Freemasonic lodges ordered in the way Solomon's Temple was. With regards to today's date, it also has 38 numerology, a number of death and killing, and in this case, matching the gematria of the type of helicopter that crashed, a UH-60 Blackhawk. 1 dead, they said, 1 killed in the accident, so there was a death, fitting for the date numerology for the ritual. And in case you're new here and not following, rest assured, it's very likely that nobody died today. It's very likely that this entire story is just manufactured. I mean, I haven't seen the actual news footage, but I'm sure if you watch the news footage, there's probably some suspicious things about the helicopter. Just know they're manufacturing the news. Worst case scenario, they wasted millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars. But what you should know is that's what they do every single day, and that's why I'm exposing this, because this goes on every single day. You know, every single day, manufactured news by the numbers. It's going to be the same tomorrow, the day after, until the day this gang's put out of commission. But anyway, Breton Bay Golf Course, 223. This is a number very special to Freemasonry. 223, we'll talk about the Freemason, compass and square, and what it has to do with 223, but just understand, this number, signature number by the Freemasons. A lot of people know 322, the number of skull and bones, the Masonic order. There's a lot of things to both 223 and 322, which I cover on this channel often, but for now, just understand it's all Freemasonry. It's Freemasonry running the show, putting on the rituals, using this old world esoteric knowledge to essentially make noise. Don't forget, in English, we call writing words spelling, and if you study this gematria system, you'll see that the whole alphabet is based on this numerical system. That's why words are spelled nonsensical ways, such as 40. Anyhow, as we covered, Breton Bay Golf Course, 88, like Maryland, like Trump, also like the Republican Party, also like George Washington. Inauguration day was January 20th, 2017, which was a date with 58 numerology. 1 plus 20 plus 20 plus 17, 58. Just like 4 plus 17 plus 20 plus 17, 58. It's 88 days. His 88th day, we get this story about the helicopter on the appropriate golf course in the appropriate state, Maryland, right where Washington, D.C. is. Notice it was also 2 months and 29 days. We're going to talk about 229 in a moment. Here's a headline from September 6th. Trump earns endorsement of 88 retired generals. Every news story covered this. Make America's military great again. You know, we'll see how Trump responds to this. I'm sure it'll be news headlines tomorrow. Maryland and Trump also have Gematria 47. And let me just take a moment to introduce some more knowledge about 47, Freemasonry. Donald Trump, he had his GOP convention in Cleveland this year begin July 18th, 18/7. Kind of like 187. That was exactly 187 days before Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. in Gematria sums to 187, just like the name George Washington. And notice, George Washington says ordinal, Washington, D.C. says reverse ordinal. The difference is, ordinal means A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Reverse ordinal is A is 26, B is 25, C is 24, to Z is 1. The alphabet, forwards and backwards. You see, George Washington and Washington, D.C. matches in this system. And if you think this is a coincidence, it's not. The world of professional sports is full of this. Notice Patriots is 118 and 98. Now watch the Manchurian that the league scripted around Tom Brady, 98 and 118. You can go to basketball. You know, Cleveland, 33. The only NBA city besides New York that's 33. Cleveland was the 33rd team to be down 3-1 last year. And NBA Finals, first team to come back to win a series being down 3-1, the 33rd team to try. Their star player LeBron James. If you've ever seen my work on Cleveland and 223, or if you haven't, be sure to check it out. Lots of good examples with 223 and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, special number, Freemasonry, running the world of sports, entertainment, news, government. Freemasonry is a big deal. The Society of Jesus is the name of the Jesuit order within the Catholic Church. And remember, where Washington, D.C. is once where the Catholic colony was. That's why Washington, D.C. is between Maryland and Virginia, Virgin Mary. This whole nation was constructed around the Bible, if you're not aware. Philadelphia, the original capital, takes its name right from the final book of the Bible, Revelation. Revelation. So anyhow, Society of Jesus 187. Trump had his convention in Ohio, which has gematria of 187, like the word time and satanic gematria. The last Republican president was George W., like a tribute to George Washington Bush, born on July 6th, the 187th day of the year. George Washington died at age 67. You could write July 6th as 6/7. But here, 47. That's what we wanted to talk about. Maryland and Trump have this gematria 47. So does Ohio. The first Republican debate was in Ohio. There's only 2 states with 47 gematria. Ohio, Nevada. The first Democratic debate was in Nevada. Ohio, president, authority, White House, government, all words with 47 gematria. So is the word agent, and for you video game players, I know there's a video game out there with a character called Agent 47. In fact, they've even made those video games into a movie, I think, called Hitman. Maybe the video game's called Hitman 2, but there's this character out there, Agent 47. Little did you know, you use the alphabetic order of the word Agents 47. Washington, D.C. and the Kabbalah ciphers also has gematria 47. To know that this number is no joke, on the Freemason compass it's set at 47 degrees. In the streets of Washington, D.C., which were built by a Freemason from France, France equals 47, red, white, and blue. Just in case you don't believe me. Home of the plus 33 dialing code, France 47, alphabetic order. The streets of Washington, D.C. come to this same 47-degree angle that points right at the White House. Again, White House, president, authority, government, Trump. Trump was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel with the Rockefeller family at Rockefeller Plaza the night of the election. You know, we just saw David Rockefeller pass by the numbers. See my Rockefeller playlist if you haven't already. Everyone in that family dies by the numbers. But here, regarding the Freemason compass and square, the compass is at 47 degrees. The square is a right angle, which is 90 degrees. That means there's 137 degrees of measurement. If you take a circle, it all comes back to the circle. If you take the circle and you subtract 137 degrees, you're left with 223 degrees. 223, that number for Masonic. Just in case you're new here, I'll treat you to this one. 22 divided by 7. In the alphabetic order, that sums to 314. 314, like 3.14, the number for pi. Pi, from geometry class, for circles, to calculate circumference, area of a circle. If you divide 22 by 7, you get pi. It's the closest approximation of pi, 22 divided by 7. And mathematicians know this. This is the shorthand to pi. Just divide 22 by 7. Use that. In our own language, you get 314. Pi is 3.14, with all the other decimal points that come after. But it's why we say March 14th is Pi Day. Look at this. 360. The degrees in a circle. 227. You follow my work. We talk about these numbers time and time again. Donald Trump went to Fordham University, the Jesuit school, and he began his schooling there 52 years before being elected president. And again, president has the gematria of 52, as well as White House, as well as NWO for New World Order. And speaking of New World Order, the United States of America, a construct of the New World Order, which is an old world order. Notice the gematria of 174. Here we are on April 17th, 17/4, with some serious New World Order news by the numbers. This is going somewhere with the crashing helicopter on the golf course. An article just came out earlier, or I should say last week, earlier this month, last week, about how Donald Trump has already used $20 million of taxpayer money flying to play golf. That was a headline out last week. Donald Trump's golf trips have already costed U.S. taxpayers $20 million. And I shrug my shoulders at this news, just going, really? How can it even possibly cost that much? I feel like they're really just trying to piss us off a lot of the times with this news, just provoking us. Think about how sick that is, if that's true. $20 million. We're living in a society where schools have no after-school programs. There's not enough teachers, helpers. But the president's got $20 million to play golf. Anyway, today's news on the 88th day at Chopper, crashing on the golf course. I should have mentioned that the Freemasons, they call this circle the pole star. The pole star means North Star. The Freemasons have the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation for a structure. Remember, Freemasonry, 47, they're builders, foundation 47, just like framework, and also like pole star. You see? And for those of you who follow my work, I'm always talking about how important 106 is to their coding. Notice that 106 is on their pole star, you know, the top of their compass. So here's the imagery of the helicopter, you know. What I'll remind people is we live in the age of, you know, robotics and remote control and the ability to, you know, even have robots steer automobiles. This could be an experimental helicopter that they purposefully crashed in a planned drill, essentially, even agreed to with the golf course. I mean, who owns this golf course? There didn't even need to be anybody on board. You know what I mean? This golf course is in Leonardtown. Leonard alone has gematria of 33, like false flag, like masonry, like secrecy. Leonardtown has gematria also very much like conspiracy and the number 33 when written out. Numbers often used in the Masonic propaganda. 33, very special to Freemasonry. Leonardtown, Maryland also has gematria of 104, kind of like 10-4 message received. The date of establishment for this country, 104 numerology. 229, that's the 50th prime number. Donald 50, America 50. This is news for tribute to Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, the nation of 50 states and 1 million territories. The witness they left, one witness, Garrett Bowles, told CNN he thinks the helicopter hit some trees as it went down. One other helicopter was at the scene when it crashed, Bowles told CNN. Garrett Bowles has the same name gematria as helicopter. You gotta wonder, is there even a Garrett Bowles? Sometimes the numbers just naturally align, but this news, it's too much. You know, the 88th day of the year, Breton Bay Golf Course, Maryland. Not in the way Trump's been getting headlines. And just real quick, with regards to, you know, the symbolism of this, destruction, death, Trump's 88th day, not far from the White House. On Inauguration Day, they made a big deal about how Jackie Kennedy, or excuse me, Melania Trump, they made a big deal about how Melania Trump wore baby blue the first time a First Lady wore that on Inauguration Day since Jackie Kennedy, last president to be assassinated, JFK. Just for a reminder, we just talked about Trump in 187, you know, 187 days before Inauguration Day. JFK, the last presidential assassination, happened in the 187th year of the nation's existence, from July 4th, 1776 to November 22nd, 1963. 187 years, 4 months, and 18 days. JFK assassination in gematria, 187, and in Sumerian gematria, which is just multiplying times 6, 1122, just like the day he was shot, November 22nd, 1122. You know? Show you something about baby blue and Trump, too. Baby blue has gematria 47, you know, like president. Notice the 25. Also the 70, Trump was 70 at inauguration. The name Trump has gematria 25 and 77. Interesting how in Jewish gematria it's also 470. So, a few more points about the 187. Do you remember this Time magazine cover? This was on February 16th, 2/16. Trump had his convention in Cleveland 187 days before Inauguration Day. Cleveland's area code is 216, like the date of this magazine cover. Time, nothing to see here. Trump being blown away in a wind and rainstorm. Nothing to see here. Gematria of 88, 74 like Masonic, like killing, 187 the homicide code. Nothing to see here on 216. Also, still my favorite thing that I've seen with all the Trump by the numbers, and if you go back through my videos, I must have at least 40 videos on Trump news stories from a certain day, with 88 being the ritual. I have so many. Go back and watch. I have over 100 videos on Donald Trump. It's probably approaching 150. But anyway, my favorite moment is Trump's not his inauguration, his GOP convention on July 18th. You might recall it was very awkward. He came out to Queen, "We Are the Champions." He looked like he wasn't too enthused about it. Well, as soon as that happened, I just couldn't believe that the president was coming out to Queen, "We Are the Champions," or the man running for president, I should say. And what I thought right away, even without knowing it, I just had the assumption. Just like when I heard today's news, I said, God, is it today's Trump's 88th day in office? And sure enough, it is. But when I saw this, Trump coming out to Queen, I said, I bet you anything it's 88 days since the Queen's birthday. The Queen's birthday is April 21st. Remember, Prince died on her birthday last year, 33 years younger than her. He was 57 on her 90th. Anyway, from the Queen's birthday to Trump coming out to Queen was 88 days later. And both the name Elizabeth and Trump are 88 in Gematria. Also, the 187 until Inauguration Day, 2 months and 27 days, 227, cycles, circles, propaganda, by the numbers. 8, in terms of symbolism, represents the infinite loop of time, And with regards to the circle and America and Donald, I should have mentioned that Donald has Gematria 50. Or I didn't mean to. Circle has Gematria 50. And notice Circle also has the Gematria of 112, just like Donald. The word mathematics has Gematria of 112. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Mathematics. All comes back to understanding this world we live in, a world of cycles and circles. Hopefully that's making sense. But anyway, the point is, all of this news, all of this propaganda, it's all being foreshadowed, or it's all foreshadowing something to come, the next news story to come. And as I've been explaining, keep your eye on May 23rd for Donald Trump. Something big might happen to Donald Trump that day. You never know what the powers that shouldn't be will do next, but they're foreshadowing something, and they keep pointing to that date. So we'll wrap it up here. This is why you have this news. It's just more news by the numbers. If you were feeling bad for somebody dying, don't feel too bad. I'm pretty sure nobody died. If somebody did die, we have even more trouble. That means they're killing our servicemen for these rituals, which is even more sick. It's already sick enough, but I don't think it's quite that sick and twisted. So until next time, Truth Seeker.